So, hello everyone. Let's start with the quote from Nick Bostrom, philosophy. It says the machine intelligence is the last invention that the humanity will ever need to make. And we go through a nice journey for the data science. And I try to give some information about the data science, the state of the art, the different technique, and also introducing the course. But let me first to introduce myself. As what I mentioned, I'm Mohammed Khatami, and I did my master in media informatics Aachen and my PhD in the field of computer science and specifically in medical image processing. I'm a data scientist, and I'm working as a researcher and teacher assistant at University of Bonn. And I should mention it's the last day that I'm working in University of Bonn, and from today I switch to the next level of my career. But just the presentations today, I should just consider the reality. And also, I'm head of AI department at Advisor Academy Bonn since 2013. First, I want to give you some introduction to some of the projects I did in the last years. One of them is a big data analysis. Just I tried to choose a different project which cover a different field. One is this big data analysis. It means this process is based on the GPS data, which collected from the different mobile device from more than 3 million active users. And then according to this GPS signal, we are going for the city planning. And then we suggest for the public transportation, then where should be the next station, or for the different shopping location, we give them a suggestion, or for the advertisement, where to put your advertisement to have the maximum visitor. The challenge for this big data analysis is that we have a daily data of more than 50 terabytes. And for this big data analysis, the challenge is not to find the best solution, but it's always about how we can make it in the efficient time and costs. Another project that I was involved, it was a visual analytics application. In this project that I did in University of Bonn, we published and showed that how human interaction with the machine learning can improve all these machine learning results. It means many people just going to use the machine learning data science, which I explain later, as a kind of a black box. Say, here the input, do some process, what is the output, and just reporting a number. But we show that it's very important that the human being to play an important role here, just to say which feature could be a kind of outlier or which sample could be noise. And it's a kind of visual analytics which we in real time we play with the data and improve our method. Another one, we are using the machine learning in the context of medical image analysis. Here you can see the MRI, diffusion MRI images, which we can extract neuron tracks from the brain. Here we propose a method which consider this information from the brain to detect the different diseases. For example, just by looking this image, you cannot detect is it male or female, or does this person suffer from the Alzheimer or not. But this model can go inside the brain to use the machine learning and deep learning sometimes to detect this problem. It was for the introduction, just to introduce myself to you. But let's go to see the different domain of the machine learning and data science. We can say nowadays, machine learning, data science, deep learning, but what's the difference? I will explain the next slide, but exists everywhere. Currently, when you go to the bank or the insurance company, they have a system according to your personal information. They can calculate the risk. They can decide, is it, are you a good person or person to give you a loan or credit or not? In the healthcare, we have seen a lot of improvement in the new technology, which machine learning and data science help in healthcare system, from the drug discovery, detecting disease, and many other information. In manufacturing, one of the current trend in the market is the predictive maintenance. It means according to the real-time analysis of the old data from the manufacturer to detect the failure in future, which can save a lot of money for the company. Another one is the e-commerce or marketing. You know, Amazon, one of the best solution for the e-commerce, and it's all about the machine learning. It means the human being, they cannot control such kind of business, and they are using the machine learning to recommend you a product. Another one is the automation. You know, Tesla for the automation, that the self-driving, it's a future. It means in future, not too long, but I think it's early in the next 10 or 15 years, we can see if we just using the self-driving car, it could be much more safer than the driving by normal people. And another one is travel and transport. And for many airport and transport system, all the things and management, it's done by the artificial intelligence. There are many examples in this field, but I just wanted to give you some overview that if you need machine learning everywhere and in different business. So I once mentioned artificial intelligence, once I mentioned machine learning, deep learning, data science, but it's always a question for many people, what is a difference here? What we means here? The artificial intelligence is a kind of a broad field that it's a technique we want to teach the computer to think, but we do not mean to think like the human, but to be able having some data to make a decision. We can say Alan Turing, one of the first person who introduced artificial intelligence, he has some definition. Machine learning is a part of the artificial intelligence. It means one of the subsection of the artificial intelligence is machine learning, which we have a different algorithm for some specific purpose. And if we go deeper, we have a deep learning, which is again a subset of machine learning and artificial intelligence, but it's working with the huge amount of data. But what is a data science? We can say it's a bit difficult to make it separate the data science from the artificial intelligence, the other things that we have here, but it's a big overlap between them. It means in data science, we need to use machine learning, deep learning, artificial intelligence. But beside that, we need to use visualization, statistical analysis, and other information. Here is maybe it's one of the best chart can describe what is the relation between all of these things, and they are using in a different word and format. If you go to the history of the data science, it exists from a very long time ago. I couldn't find a good quality image for this history. But if we go there, we see, for example, the convolutional neural network, which we can see at the just a little before 21st century, the CNN was introduced. But as you can see, also we have the first NVIDIA GPU here. It means the concept and the hardware, they are helping each other. Here's the reason why we have heard a lot in the past 10 years or 20 years about the machine learning and data science. And it shows some of this important event of the data science history. Let's go to look at some of the reports. IBM and McKinsey, two of the very well-known company in the consulting industry, they are providing some information. This report, if I'm not wrong, it's for 2018, and it's the report of the data science and analytics skills demanded by the market in USA. As we can see, more than 2 million jobs is listing just in 2015. And also McKinsey predicted that more than around 3 million jobs also we need at 2018. But we see it's much faster than the prediction of McKinsey and also IBM. And just imagine it just for the market in USA. Also, the data science and analytics job, it usually take 5 days longer than average for the company to find a good candidate. And we can also see what is the minimum salary for data scientist people. It means it shows a very interesting market. It's lots of demand. And as we saw that different business fields they are requesting for the machine learning engineer data scientists. But as you saw again, I mentioned the different word, data scientist, data analysis, machine learning engineer. But what is a difference? It means the base for all of them are the same. They are in the same field, but the focus could be different. Here, the reason we have a data scientist, data analysis, data system developer, and also we have data-driven decision makers. It means, for example, for the last one, it's very good for the manager, for the IT project management manager. It means they don't need to go inside the models to be able to code do something, but it's very important to them to know what we means by the classification, what is the regression. If they go somewhere and someone report them, the accuracy is 91%. What does it mean to them? It's also very important for the manager to know. It means for the people who are working in a different field as engineer, scientists, also they need to know data analysis to be familiar with the business intelligence. Here, the reason we have a different functional role in this field. And it shows the market. It means having these roles in this field of the data science and analytics, data-driven decision maker, functional analysis, and different things, which we can see on the left-hand side. And on the top, we can see the different industry. Professional services, it means like the IT services like Google, Amazon, something like that. Finance, insurance, manufacturing, information, so on. We can see it's the most requests is located for the professional service, finance and insurance, and manufacturing. It means these are the three big markets they are looking for data scientist people. Let's go. It means there are lots of questions, there are lots of fields, and also it was when I started to learn machine learning and data science, also it was very difficult for me. It means there are many different software, tools, concepts, and it was always difficult for me to detect which one is important for us. Then I always thinking, because I offered each of these courses separately in university, like the visual analytics, visual computing, programming, different one separately. And as you know, each of them takes a semester, for a semester. And then the question is, how can we design a short and complete course that we start from A, go to Z to prepare you for the market? We thought a lot and we're working a lot to think about what topic do we want to choose to cover in the lecture. And at the end, we just subdivided it into 3 parts. First of all, we want to see how to think logically. It means many people going to the internet, opening the kind of online tutorial, say, I want to learn Java, I want to learn Python. But it's like to start to learning a language, but by using the dictionary. If you memorize a dictionary, it's completely useless for you. If you want just to learn the language, Python programming language, you can go to the internet, you can find lots of free courses. We teach you the programming language, but the most important thing is to teach you how to think logically. It means having a different tools, how to combine them together. If we give you a question, how do you want to formulate it? Later, I tell you how we do in the class, but it's the idea to first to focus, to think logically and be able to implement the method. Then we start the data science with fun, just going with some specific example, which the data and the method is ready to detect. For example, prediction for the car price. If you have a data set of the cars, then you want to predict the price. If you have a different clauses, a picture, how do you detect it? how to go for the face recognition. It's some of the example we did in the previous course. But at this part, as I mentioned, it means we have a clear data set, we know the method, but it's your task just to put all of them together to work. At the end, we go to the final one. We want to do a real project, how to use a software engineering, how to clean your data, how to work in group. It means exactly like a business. It's a big gap for many courses and many online tutorials that people learn the data science, they know what is classification, they know what is regression or the difference method, but when they go to the market or they want to apply it on the real project, they don't know how to do it. They don't know how to go to download the data. These are a very simple thing that you are asked for, but no one tells you how to do it. It means here the reason that the company looking for the experienced people because they say they already know that. Having this goal to go by this way to first learning programming and then learning data science and applying on the real case, here is the outline of our course. First, we start with just focusing on the programming with the Python language because it's the most popular language in 2020. And then we start with the very basic. It means it's not important at all. Do you have a computer background or not? We start completely from scratch, and each week we repeat the previous week and just adding a new thing, and so on. We tell you about the basic conditional statement, object-oriented, some of the popular and famous Python library like NumPy, Pandas, Plotly. It's more than these things, and also how to create a GUI. And then we go for the real machine learning part. We tell you about the scikit-learn library, and then we start a step-by-step of the pipeline for the data manipulation, reading the data from the SQL, data processing, regression, classification, and so on. And also it's important for some of you, for example, the software engineering, how to use the agile method for the software development, how to package your software, how to put everything in the Git. We cover all of them here. But it could be surprising for you, for example, you see the SQL database here. I remember it was more than 15 years ago. I was at the age of around 18 or 19. I attended to the SQL database for the first time. And it took more than 12 sessions. I know that if we want to cover each of the sections, it maybe takes 6 months to cover each of them, but we should stay focused. Just to say for the SQL, what is the database, how to create a simple table, use it in our program. It means you learn the basic and you are able to do the basic experiment. But later, if at work they need something more, you can easily Google for it just to go for the extra. It's the idea for the whole course. It means we do not want to cover everything, which could take more than 2 years to cover everything, but we want to tell you the essential part of each subsection and tell you not about the algorithm, how to implement it, but how to interpret it, how to use it in the correct way. What am I explain about the course structure, but I just want to re-mention it again, but some of the most important thing. It means all the courses is live. It means we code together, we have a conversation. Which I like about that is people coming from a different field, from mechanical engineering in our past course, from the mechanic, from computer, from agricultural things, biology, different field. And then it was very nice that we had a very nice discussion in the online course. One asking about the dimension reduction on the biology field, another one asking about the hierarchical clustering in the in other field. Another thing is one-to-one coaching. For the one-to-one coaching, which is so important for me, is each week I give you the old material and course, and then I give you the exercise. You are doing the exercise, and then at the end of the week, when the deadline of the exercise submission is on, then I share you a video with a solution. Then you can go through the solution, you can see the video, and then you can practice it more when you have to. And then I also give you feedback for your exercise. And each week I show your progress, just comparing with yourself, not the other people in the class. And each time I tell you, okay, how was your progress? What's your problem? It's about the language itself, it's about the concept, or it's a matter of the practice. And each week we have this one-to-one coaching, which I want to push you go one step further, one step further. And as I mentioned, at the end, we have a project-based training. The structure of the class is very flexible. It means because we have people from a different field and the time is limited, here at blue right, you can see the circle. At the middle of the course, I asked our student, what do you want to do as a real project? Because they have a different taste. And at the beginning of the course, they have no clear idea what we mean by the time series analysis, or what we mean by the natural language processing. And it's their choice. When I asked them, here you can see their answer. Among them, the deep learning in general, time series analysis, and software engineering, it was the most demands for these three fields. It means for the real project, we put the focus more on these three parts. And for the rest, when the time doesn't permit, then I can give them some explanation in private to help them for their work or the project that they want to do. Always, we do the course evaluation. It means for the previous session, after in previous course, after 8 sessions, we did our first course evaluation. And then at the middle, again, we did the evaluation, because the evaluation is so important for us to know what is how a student is thinking about that. Just here, I'm showing for the course content that how a student think about that. As you see, we have the strongly agree, disagree, and ask the objective was clear or not, or the course content was organized or not. But as you see, the third one is about the course workload. It means for some of them it was fine, but for some of them say, okay, it was a bit a lot for us. But if you're asking me how much time do you need, it completely depends on you. But usually it takes from 2 to 5 hours beside the class that you need to spend time for the exercise. So I'm at the end of my presentation, but at the end, I want to ask you to ask all of your questions. But if you don't know what level you are or which program is suitable for you, according to the software or the things that we discuss here, because some people asking me, for example, let me also ask this question here, because some people asking me, okay, do you teach the Power BI or Tableau or some similar software? They say, no, it's not about the visual analytics software. It's about the pure data science and machine learning. Working with the software, it has this drawback that the company needs to buy this software, and also it doesn't give you enough freedom to do what you want. But when you are working with this Python and with all of these tools, which are completely open source, you can do anything that you want. And again, another thing is some people say, no, we cannot learn programming. It's the thing that I hear every semester. People say we are not talented in programming. There is no talent at all. It's just a matter of practice, practice, and practice. There is no talent. And some people ask me, some of my classmates in Bachelor, they said, how do you know the programming? The reason it was during the high school, my hobby was programming. It means each day I was spending more than an hour just to practice the programming for myself, just to writing the algorithm on paper. It means I wasn't talented at all, just I like to learn programming. Is it complex? Of course, programming and data science is so complex, but you can learn it with fun. It means if you just start with us and just listen what we tell you and just follow the lecture, at the end, we can promise you are so happy you can do some great thing with data science and machine learning. Don't forget to register. And if you have any question, it's welcome. I want to say thank you for your attention, and I'm here to answer your question. And if you have a question in Persian, feel free to ask us in Persian.